In New Light Video Magazine, Seeing in a New Perspective, March issue, Volume 12. Editor's Choice Anniversary Edition. The feature story. In New Light Video Magazine, The Story and the Staff. Black Knight. Vogtle Whale. Rolling Green Project. Homebrewing for the Holidays. St. Patrick's Day in Savannah, Georgia. Lights in the Georgia Sky. Cigar Box Guitars. Virtual Entertainment. Vitamin B17. Aromatherapy. Space Invader. Snow Angel Nebula. Monthly music trivia, celestial calendar, and INLVM astrology forecast inside. Find out more at www.innewlightvideomagazine.com or find us on YouTube. Table of Contents. Otherworld News. The Black Knight. Vogtle Whale. St. Patrick's Day in Savannah, Georgia. Rolling Green Project. Feature story. The INLVM story and staff. What's up? Uncovering unexplained phenomena. Lights in the Georgia Sky. Entertainment Central. Music trivia. Cigar Box Guitars. And virtual entertainment. Holistic Health. Vitamin B17. Aromatherapy. Astronomy and Astrology. Astronomy Photo of the Month. Space Invader. Astronomy Photo of the Month. Snow Angel Nebula. Celestial Events Calendar. INLVM Astrology Forecast. About in New Light Video Magazine. Contributors and credits. From the Ground Up. Lapidary, wire wrapping, and custom jewelry designs by Marty Farley. Facebook.com/FromTheGroundUp01. Hi, it's Rich with the New Light Video Magazine, and welcome to our Editor's Choice Anniversary Edition. Our first story comes from our September issue, and it was so cool and so interesting that it ended up being a unanimous vote to include it in this issue. I'm talking about the Black Knight, a 13,000-year-old satellite that's orbiting Earth in a polar orbit. And here's that story for you now.
The Black Knight, 13,000-year-old satellite. Space, vast and limitless. Even with all of our technology, we still have only scratched the surface with information. We like to think that our authorities are keeping us in the loop with all of their findings. With more and more people claiming to see unexplained phenomena in our skies, our minds can't help but to wonder, what is it all about? About a month ago, I read a story on a 13,000-year-old satellite orbiting in space. A what? Yes, you heard me right. We didn't have this kind of technology 13,000 years ago, so where did this come from? My research began. You see, this story dates all the way back to 1899 to Nikola Tesla, an inventor from Croatia. While in Colorado Springs, Tesla picked up periodically repeating radio signals coming from space that appeared to be intelligent. At first, he thought it was coming from Mars, but then found out that it was coming from further out in space. In the 1920s, it was picked up again by ham, radio enthusiasts and amateur astronomers, with signals coming in on various occasions. Ham claimed they deciphered the code, and it was a star chart in the center of the Epsilon Bootes star system. The signals were reported again in 1928 and 1929. On May 14, 1954, two newspapers, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and San Francisco Examiner, published that there were already one or two artificial satellites orbiting the Earth, yes, long before Sputnik. In 1960, it was determined that it was in fact an artificial satellite. It was in the polar orbit of the Earth. The thing is that neither the USA or Russia had the technology to launch something of the size into space. Robert L. Johnson, director of Adler Planetarium, stated, "The object doesn't even have the decency to maintain a regular schedule like any other heavenly or man-made object I've seen. We don't know where to watch for it. It appears some nights, and some nights it doesn't." Is this the same signal that Tesla picked up years ago? We find new information daily about space, but is this also giving us new information about Earth? And the most important question, who built and placed the satellite there? Is someone trying to send us a message? There are so many questions and so few answers concerning the Black Knight. We can be skeptical all we want, but the physical proof is still there. All the uncovering of ancient secrets the Earth has been doing has shown us that humanoid life existed here on Earth a lot longer than previously thought. From most of the discoveries, it seems they were highly intelligent as well. Could they have left it behind, leaving a watchful eye on Earth's progress? Maybe they left it behind to inform us of something. Ancient Sumerian texts speak of the Anunnaki, while Indians, Native Americans, Incas, Mayans, and other ancient civilizations all make reference to star beings or star people, and most consider them their gods. Our ancestors left us carvings of beings flying in some sort of ship, obviously an important message they were trying to share with us. According to Jesse, an anonymous confidential source, in 1969 the Apollo 10 astronaut Stafford, Cernan, and Young were the first to film an extraterrestrial space beacon dubbed the Monolith, somewhat like but smaller than the one Arthur C. Clarke's book movie 2001. They were not, however, the first astronauts to spot this ET beacon. The monolith was first sighted by Russian cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space, in 1961. He was followed into space that same year by American astronaut Alan Shepard, who also sighted the beacon. Apollo 10 went to it and filmed it from every angle. The monolith acted like a communication beacon. Jesse said, "It sort of acts like the message received in the movie Contact. It had a message on it, in addition to a map of the extraterrestrial civilization which placed it there and how to get to them. The common conclusion is that they can tell us how big it is, color, and to some extent its speed, but they cannot tell us exactly what Black Knight is. I do know this. It is one thing that we must investigate more, and according to the source, by 2016 this probe UFO satellite will make its path back into Earth's orbit, orbiting every 15 to 20 years. Also, it took a corrective course to avoid collision with another asteroid. So hopefully here soon we will have more information on what the Black Knight is, or will the Black Knight offer it to us. This may be a lot of information for some to swallow, but I feel this is something we must know and understand so we may act as reasonable people. I will leave you with this last note on the Black Knight. In 1970, Duncan Lunnan, a Scottish scientist, examined and deciphered the transmitted pulse with a horizontal axis of echo delay time. He found the constellation Bootes as it would have looked like 15,000 years ago, and was able to translate it into simple English, giving more evidence that it was manipulated by intelligent beings. This is his deciphered message. Start here. Our home is Epsilon Bootes, which is a double star. We live on the 6th planet of 7. Check that, 6th of 7. Counting outwards from the Sun, which is the larger of the two, our 6th planet has 1 moon. Our 4th planet has 3. Our 1st and 3rd planets each have 1. Our probe is in the orbit of your moon. This updates the position of Arcturus shown on our maps. We would love to hear your thoughts on the subject, and if you have any more information you would like to share, please email us, or better yet, find us on Facebook. I am Stacy Hill in New Light Video Magazine.
History, hauntings, happenings. Find your truth with Sixth Sense World. www.sixthsenseworld.com. At INLVM, we love to share new and interesting stories with people, and this one is no exception. This one comes from our December-January issue, and it's the Vogtle whale. Now I know you're thinking, what's so special about this whale? Well, it had legs. And here's Stacy to tell you more about it.
Hi, this is Stacy Hill with a New Light Video Magazine. We are in Statesboro, Georgia at the Georgia Southern University Museum, and we are with Brent Thorpe, and we are looking at the Vogtle whale that was found just a few miles, about 50 miles up north from us. And what county was that in again?
It's in Burke County, with the
County.
Vogtle Nuclear Power Plant,
Right.
where it gets its name.
Right. And this is a wonderful, wonderful find because this whale, as you see, has legs. And Brent, could you tell us a little bit about this whale?
Sure. Georgicetus vogelensis is its scientific name, and it's a type specimen, which means it's the first of this species ever discovered. So any others that come after this are compared to the piece here in the collection at Georgia Southern University. It's a really important fossil, and probably one of the most important fossils ever discovered here in Georgia, because it is an important transition fossil, a really important species that helps us understand the story of the evolution of whales that started out originally as four-legged land mammals and ultimately become aquatic mammals, whales, porpoises, and dolphins. And Georgicetus vogelensis is one of those transition fossils. So he shares some of the aspects of those original land mammals and some of the modern cetaceans that we know today.
Okay, and I was doing some research, and the whales that we have, that we know of in our seas nowadays, they still have the hip joints.
Right, it's not unusual to still find vestigial bones in this back area that's evidence of these original legs of these four-legged mammals. They were really pronounced on Georgicetus vogelensis. He clearly had a very significant and large bone there, and clearly shows a ball and socket that he had these legs that were in there. However, those hip bones are no longer fused to the spine, so he couldn't hold himself up above water and on dry land. So he's living a fully aquatic life at this point in time.
Right. And looking at the face, it reminds me of like a crocodile. Then I got to look and I'm like, that looks like a bottlenose dolphin as well.
Right, yeah, if you look at the characteristics of it, with only the bone, lots of visitors take a look at it and think it looks very reptilian in a way, but paleontologists that understand the bones and the indication of this is that it's clearly mammalian, and so we have a reconstruction of what a young Georgicetus would look like over here on the other side, and as you can see, it looks very seal-like from what we think of today. This was clearly a mammal. He probably still had fringes of fur on him, even though he's living in the water all the time. At this point, his nostrils are still close to the end of his nose, but over millions of years, that evolved eventually into true blowholes that we see on whales and porpoises today.
Now, this Vogtle whale, this is one of your permanent pieces, right?
That's right. So this whale is part of our Hall of Natural History here at the museum, where we interpret the natural and history of coastal plain Georgia. So as you look through all of the fossils that are in here, you'll see that most of the history of coastal plain Georgia is an aquatic history. It was covered up by these ancient oceans that washed back and forth over this area for millions of years, which is why we have this low, flat, sandy soil that's typical of coastal plain Georgia. Now we're looking at that ancient ocean bed. But then you get to the late Pleistocene, and we then, during the Ice Age, we see a lot of land mammals coming in. In fact, so elements such as giant ground sloths and 3 types of fossil elephant that lived here in South Georgia during that time period. And of course, a really unique animal that comes in the late Pleistocene, and that's the first humans that come into to South Georgia, and the first Native Americans that come in and part of this environment as well. And so that's what this permanent gallery traces, is the natural and cultural history of coastal plain Georgia. We also have a changing exhibit gallery here that those exhibits change every 2 or 3 times each year, and those are based on the research and the work of our faculty here at Georgia Southern University. So those run the gamut from art, history, science, whatever the case may be. And so at the moment, our changing exhibit is on research being done by our paleontologists on dinosaurs, and so we have a dinosaur exhibit. But in the near future, in the new year, we'll change to an exhibit that looks at the history of POWs from the American Revolution all the way to the present, and the experience of the American POW use. So this changes from subject to subject throughout the year. So we encourage our visitors to come and see what's new at the museum.
So the dinosaur exhibit is until what, January the 26th?
That's right.
Is that right? Okay. And then after that, you will be doing the POW of
That's right. So we'll open up a new exhibit, the American Experience, the POW Experience, and that'll last until June, when we'll open a new exhibit called the Mad Scientist Laboratory.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Which will be a fun hands-on exhibit for everybody, children of all ages, and our students here. But it'll look specifically at a variety of scientists here at Georgia Southern, and some hands-on activities, and talking about their particular research and what they do. And that's always a great exhibit as well.
And they can always check out your website?
That's right.
Okay, what is your website?
And if you just go to georgiasouthern.edu/museum, you'll find the museum, and you can look at our special events and our exhibits and everything that's going on here.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Brent.
Appreciate it.
And we thoroughly enjoyed this. This is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. And we'd like to thank you from A New Light Video Magazine. Thank you for watching and listening. And come down to Georgia Southern and check out their museum. This is a great place, family fun. It is, wonderful place. Thank you.
Reiki attunement classes with Reiki Master Instructor Reverend Stacy Hill. For more information, send an email to revstacyhill@gmail.com and start a journey in Reiki today. Well, it's March, and as In New Light Video Magazine celebrates its first birthday, we thought we'd go back to our very first issue to share another story about celebration with you. And here's Ronnie to tell you a little bit more about St. Patrick's Day in Savannah, Georgia.
Hi everybody. Well, it's March, and anyone who lives or has lived or visited Savannah, Georgia knows about St. Patrick's Day. It's our own version of Mardi Gras, except this time we get to be Irish, even if you aren't. Savannah, Georgia hosts the second largest St. Patrick's Day parade. But that's not all. Being that we are from the South, we have to start our day with green grits, and we usually have green beer for lunch, dinner, and so on. Even if you aren't a beer drinker, for this day, many people partake. It begins around March 8th and continues through the 17th. Savannah will truly paint the town green in honor of St. Patrick's Day, a favorite holiday in Georgia's first city. Named after Ireland's beloved patron saint, St. Patrick's Day is a lively and spirited annual celebration in Savannah and what has become one of the largest festivals in the Southeast. There will be gatherings to green a lot of the fountains downtown. Our city spares no expense. Savannah has been celebrating her Irish heritage for centuries. Traditional Irish values and customs of old are mingled with the excitement and charm of a city whose quirky personality comes out in all those who call Savannah home, and those here to visit Savannah for the 189th St. Patrick's Day celebration. This year's celebration will be on Saturday, March 16th. There is expected to be around 350 floats, marching bands, representatives from various Irish groups, Irish pipe bands, local and regional celebrities, area politicians, and military units make it regular appearances in Savannah's St. Patrick's Day Parade, a beloved annual tradition. The first St. Patrick's Day Parade marched through the shady streets of Savannah in 1813. In its early days, the parade was more of a military spectacle, with soldiers from various regiments marching in honor of St. Patrick's Day. Except for major wars, the parade has run nearly every year for almost 200 years. So come on out, grab a good spot, bring the kids, and enjoy being Irish for a day. There is fun to be had for all ages, and the scenery in our beautiful city cannot be denied. This is Ronnie Heelan, and I hope to see you there. Keep those Irish eyes a-smiling.
Uplift, create, and share at Anahata Healing Arts in the Starland District of Savannah. www.anahatahealingarts.com. Nothing goes better with a great celebration than some ice-cold refreshments. This year, though, why not try making some of your own at home? Save some money. It's alright if you don't know exactly where to begin. This next article from our October issue will give you just what you need to do it yourself at home. Here's the Rolling Green Project's Home Brewing for the Holidays to help you get started.
Home brewing for the holidays with the Rolling Green Project. While we've been at Turning Beyond Ranch, one of the things we've been harvesting is the fresh fruits from the apple, cherry, and plum trees. When staring at a large batch of apples, we decided to try our hands at fermentation and making homemade hard cider and wines with the organic juices we were creating. This sent me into a whole new world of research to find out just what it takes to create a fine brew at home. And I must add a disclaimer here. This is intended for people of legal drinking age and not to be used otherwise. Now, with that said, I have found it can be as simple as grabbing a couple of ingredients from the grocery store to being a major chemistry project. It really depends on the quality of taste and type of fermentation you want to achieve. The avid winemaker would cringe at the simple closet brew I challenged and tested, and it almost defies the time and care put into a fine wine. With any brewing project, there are 4 main factors to keep in check for the best possible outcome. First and foremost is sterilization. A lot of things can taint your fermentation, so you want to be sure that the bottles are scalded and your utensils are sanitized. Second is the type of yeast you use. There are many selections of brewing yeast to help you achieve a desired type of wine. Or, for the impatient home brewer, Fledgman's rapid-acting yeast from most any grocery store proved to do a fine job. The bread yeast is not recommended by the brewing connoisseur, as it affects the flavor to create a lower quality wine. But it takes your brew about 7 days instead of 2 to 4 weeks, and with some aeration and proper decanting, it turned out to be a perfectly drinkable concoction. And last but hardly least, your juice must be free of preservatives or it will not ferment. During this research, I found a blog with a simple home recipe called How to Make Drinkable Wine in Just 1 Week. After reading all the technical winemaking and possible issues, I almost couldn't believe that it could be that simple, but it was. I had to test this out for myself, so we bought a gallon of True Value white grape with peach juice for our base. I chose the no sugar added for a drier, lower carb wine and made sure it was 100% real juice with no preservatives to stop fermentation. The citric acid is okay. I also chose the rapid acting yeast in hopes it would really be ready in a week. I sterilized an old gallon wine jug, poured in about 3/4 of the gallon of juice, and added 1 packet of the yeast. The total cost of the ingredients was under $7, with 2 yeast packets to spare in case it worked really well. After adding the yeast, I capped it tightly, shook it well, then unscrewed the cap just enough to let the pressure that will be building during fermentation escape to avoid an exploded mess in the closet. Keeping your wine in a dark place with no sunlight is the last key to making sure your brew turns out tasty. The fermentation began almost instantly, creating the little bubbles as the yeast ate the sugars. We checked on it every couple of days, and exactly 7 days later, the fermentation process had stopped, the silt had settled, and we were ready for a taste test. With the organic juices, we used brewing yeast and took a little bit longer. I will say it really does make the difference in flavor between a cheap wine and a fine brew. I would definitely recommend the organic juice and brewing yeast, but if you'd like to make your own fast hard apple cider for the holidays, grab a gallon of juice at the store, drop in the rapid acting yeast, and test it out in about a week. Rebottle it and let it sit in a dark, cool place or the fridge until you're ready to introduce your fine creation at your holiday parties. Don't be afraid to add some spices in before brewing either. They taste wonderful in the finished cider. So do a little research of your own and always drink responsibly. This is Samantha Phoenix using organic juices for holiday home brewing with the Rolling Green Project for In New Light Video Magazine. Keep up to date with the Rolling Green Project's happenings at www.rollinggreenproject.org.
And now for the INLVM feature story.
Hey, I'm Stacy Hill. I am a Reiki Master. I am a Chakra Tantra Reiki Master, a Shamanic Energy Healer. Basically, I am an energy worker and healer. I'm also an ordained minister, and I do weddings and such like that. My role in the video magazine is I'm the editorial director, and what that means is I do investigation, I do the research of the stories that we write. I also work hand in hand with Tammy on putting those stories in the magazine and making sure they come across well. How the magazine got started is one of the biggest questions that we are asked, and it came about in December of 2012. Tammy was already working for a magazine they were wanting to sell, and I suggested we take it over. She really wasn't interested in that at that time, and yeah, she was right. There was a lot of stuff going on. So it really wasn't something we were looking for. We wanted something more in depth. So around February of 2013, she came to me and she's like, I've got this great idea, video magazine, and it just kind of spiraled from there.
Hi, my name is Rich Lane. Some of my roles with INLVM are video editor, promotions, videographer, and voiceovers. I was a little reluctant to get involved with it because I actually wanted to make my own film, and I had all the equipment and everything like that for it. And Tammy told me, well, in the meantime, why don't you blow the dust off of the equipment and, you know, come put it to some good use. I did it, and I actually am very glad that I did, because it has been a really cool project to work on and to see it all come together in the end. And I hope that we can continue doing it for hopefully many years to come.
Hi, I'm Tammy Sabo. I'm the editing publisher for New Light Video Magazine, as well as the graphic designer. I also work as the staff's certified astrologer, and I love things on astronomy, so I also take care of the astronomy and astrology portion of our magazine. I've been an avid researcher for so many years, and I just love to find unusual stories, as well as things that maybe just people are not that aware of that have been around for a while. And this was an avenue at which to share some of that information, and finding a platform in which to share that is what a New Light Video Magazine really became to me. And it's really a platform, like I'm saying, that we want to be able to offer news and stories to provide a new perspective for people to think of. Think about what we have been told, you know, through history, where we are finding variances all the time, and rediscovering good holistic medicines that have been around for centuries. I lay out the magazine and work with Rich, and we put it together to make it into a neat video format.
Hi everybody!
Oh, look at that. Hi.
Yeah. This is all of us, well, except the Rolling Green Project.
Yeah.
Very vital part of our magazine too, because they get to roll around the country looking for eco-friendly living, but also keeping a vibe on the pulse of America or the world, you know, how people are feeling about some of the things that are going on, and a lot of the things that we're talking about in our magazine. And
they provide a lot of information that helps with eco-friendly living, a lot of stuff that you just wouldn't guess, and it's really cool. Yeah. They get to live, they get to travel around, and we get to stay here.
And we get to hear about all the adventures, because they do have some crazy stuff happen to them.
They really do. Yeah. But they have a very vital part in the magazine, just by they get to go out, and they really come up with some very interesting stories. Sometimes they don't always make it in there, but you know, we're growing, and we always are looking for new and interesting stories that we can put in there. And this is why we do it, because we want to get in touch with you. So through the year, it's our happy birthday. So happy birthday to
hey,
happy birthday! Those that have been watching us have seen us grow, change, expand, and we will continue to do so. But you know, as we have grown, we have opened up new avenues for our publication, which is the Entertainment Central, our What's Up, you know, uncovering unexplained phenomena. And we look to really get everything put together very well so that we can bring you a concise magazine to bring you entertainment and things that you don't normally hear. You won't pick up in some of the other magazines or publications. Of course, you don't pick us up. You just log on and view us on your tablet, phone, computer, and take us on the go with you.
Yes.
And you didn't mention, we actually opened our doors on a virtual.
That is right. Yeah. That's one of the main things about Rolling Green Project too. Our head reporter there, the documentary that's being done by Samantha Phoenix, she's also in charge of our virtual world connections. And basically this is all over the world that we can reach people, meet, greet, and kind of like get involved on a more personal level on a grid called In Worlds. But yeah, you can look for us there and be able to interact with us, find out more about what we have going on, and come check us out.
Yeah, come check us out.
The Savannah Deck. Celebrate Savannah's history with a limited edition box set available at www.thesavannahdeck.com. Our What's Up Editor's Choice story comes from our July issue and talks about strange lights in the night sky in Georgia, which is pretty interesting when you start looking around and you realize that there are other people all over the globe that are seeing the same lights and even getting video footage of them as well. So here is a former version of myself to tell you a little bit more about this. Mystic Corner. What's up? Lights in the sky. Last month, In New Light Video Magazine introduced a story about strange hovering lights in the night sky that were seen 3 different times over the course of 2012. Since then, we've seen it again, and this month, we have video. A strange color-changing light in the night sky over Georgia, and In New Light Video Magazine was there. We captured footage over the course of a few nights, and our curiosity grew. Are these light shows limited to just the Georgia area? Further investigation reveals similar light shows have been sighted all over the globe. YouTube is flooded with videos of the floating light show. From Ireland to Canada or Arizona to England, the sightings grow. But what exactly are these strange encounters? The light phenomenon is usually seen in the early hours of the morning, just before dawn. In most cases, they hover just above the tree lines or rooftops, occasionally moving up or down swiftly. This behavior often causes UFO enthusiasts and debunkers to refocus and re-aim their cameras before the lights eventually, and always, disappear. We here at INLVM encourage you to investigate these strange lights for yourself. You should try to keep an open mind, but remember, not everything is otherworldly. While we may never know for sure what this phenomenon is, what we have seen and captured on film will definitely have us looking at the sky in a new light. This is Rich Lane with the New Light Video Magazine. When information is beyond belief, beyond conspiracy, or beyond the norm, then it's beyond news. Find out more at articlechase.com/beyond news. Entertainment Central. Hey, alright. Music trivia time. The answer to last issue's trivia question: Olivia Newton-John left the 80s with a last #1 hit. Which sweaty song topped the chart? Physical. Physical is a song by Australian recording artist Olivia Newton-John for her 12th studio album, Physical. The song was an immediate success, shipping 2 million copies in the United States, being certified platinum, and spending 10 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. This issue's trivia question: what instrument escalated from $228,000 in 1950 to $2.3 million in 1971 in sales? Look for the answer in the next issue, baby. And a new trivia question. Stick-a-Pick holds any guitar pick to any guitar, even on the contour. Is it magic? No. It's the original Stick-a-Pick. Get yours today. Our July issue had a lot of really cool and interesting things in it. From lights in the Georgia sky to this, the Cigar Box guitar. But don't take my word for it. Let's talk with Jim and let him tell you more. Hey, Rich here with INLVM, and have I got something really unique to share with you. I remember when I was younger, my grandfather was a bit of a cigar aficionado. Over the years, he collected some very cool cigar boxes, but I had no idea how cool they could be until I visited the Georgia Music Warehouse. I stopped by to talk with Jim, and he showed me what a little creativity and some old cigar boxes could become. We're here at the Georgia Music Warehouse today, and we're talking with Jim about some very interesting guitars. How did you first become aware of this?
A friend of mine, Georgia Kyle, plays them. Georgia Kyle Shiver. He is an old blues player, loves the old blues, and he starts playing a slide on these. and that inspired me to see how good I could be at making them.
Okay. Well, what kind of sound do you get out of them?
You get the old blues slide sound, resonator type sound. And we also have the 6 strings. We want to see that. This is really the ones I'm going to be trying to make, which you can actually play and do chords with.
Okay. Do the different types of boxes affect the sound at all?
Yes, every box has its own sound, and you have to kind of experiment with them to see which one sounds the best for you.
Okay, perfect. And where could somebody go to get some of these?
Georgia Music Warehouse.
Right here.
Right
Okay.
here.
Perfect.
We have some in stock.
Perfect.
And we can do custom orders.
Okay. So they just come to you and say, hey, I'm looking for a cool new cigar box guitar, and
That's correct.
they give you the specs of what they're looking for, and
We'll make it for them within a week.
within a week. Wow, that's pretty good. Okay. Anything else that you'd like to add about?
Nothing I can think of.
Okay. Well, you guys heard it here first, the cigar box guitar. And once again, you can get yours at Georgia Music Warehouse. And hope you guys enjoyed it. See you next time.
Come by and see us.
The guitars are all handcrafted, fully functional, and made from recycled parts, so you can rock an eco-friendly tune. So if you or someone you know has some old cigar boxes sitting around, why not do something cool with them? Have the crew over at Georgia Music Warehouse build a custom cigar box guitar for you. They're fun to play, make great conversation pieces, and they definitely rock. So until next time, this is Rich with the New Light Video Magazine. For all your musical needs, it's the Georgia Music Warehouse, because everybody plays. And if you're just beginning, ask about their private lessons today. You may or may not know that In New Light Video Magazine has actually opened its virtual doors as well in Worlds. If you're feeling a little apprehensive about getting online and getting into a virtual world, it's okay. And we pulled this story from our September issue from Samantha Phoenix to kind of help you get a start. Here's virtual entertainment.
Virtual entertainment, the 21st century evolution. The 21st century has definitely brought about immense changes in home entertainment. For those of us that remember when you only played an arcade game in an arcade, or the awe-inspiring Atari that would hook up to your TV for hours of fun without leaving home, this latest wave of technology in home gaming is without a doubt mind-blowing by comparison. Today's gaming takes on a whole new level, not only in entertainment and technology, but also in socializing, learning, working, and congregating with people around the globe right from the comfort of your jammies in your own home. The Xbox and Wii connected our home game systems to the internet, which gave gamers the ability not only to play against the game, but also against other people playing the game, either as allies or an opponent. Games known as MMORPG, or massively multiplayer online role-playing games, are a genre of role-playing video games or web browser-based games in which a very large number of players interact with one another within a virtual game world. These are often played on your standard PC or laptop with no need for other gaming systems, although some require a specific CD or download for your computer. What few people know about is the level of involvement emotionally and psychologically that these virtual worlds can have, unless you understand the virtual world is just as real in its own way by offering extensions of ourselves. While it is true that many of these worlds are simply for gaming, like the flash-based game servers resembling The Sims, that can provide entertainment and relaxation by chatting with people, playing games such as poker, Zynga, Scrabble, and many others of that type, it is the more profoundly involved virtual worlds that have caught my attention as well. In these worlds, such as Second Life and Open Life, which are more multiple grid server-based mesh-style 3D graphics with an independent viewer as an interface, you can be human, animal, a mixture of the two, fantasy characters, time period styles, or some completely fabricated being, if that suits your fancy. So not only does it offer an outlet that is unsurpassed for creativity, it also offers a way for schools to have virtual classes for people to attend without ever leaving their home, has gathering places for corporations, groups, and organizations to meet on a global scale, and has places to socialize while chatting, sharing music, doing karaoke, or playing live music, among the unlimited possibilities of the individual's imagination. These worlds are not limited to kids either. In fact, the largest population of the more intricate virtual worlds are adults, with adult themes and ways of adult entertainment. One of the newer forms of virtual worlds I have recently discovered is a combination of the Flash graphics style game interface with the integration of the mesh-based virtual grids of the more sophisticated virtual worlds, which offers a hybrid for an entirely different experience. So how do you choose a virtual world? I would suggest a Google search. There will be pages of them to choose from. Most are free to join. Some give you points without buying credits, to get you hooked of course. Some give you options to get free credits or to create and sell products for the other players, which will give you their local credits and may even offer a cash return. And all of them will accept all major credit cards for your upgrades and shopping sprees. So the best way to choose is to determine what type of virtual experience you want to have. Ask your friends that are online geeks which ones they use, and do a little research yourself by jumping on into building your own virtual self, one virtual world at a time. This is Samantha Phoenix with the New Light Video Magazine, bringing the virtual world into a new perspective.
Creative Divine Studios, the transformative power of sacred sound, the School of Sound and Energy Resonance with Mur Damamian. Contact Mur at facebook.com/Creative Divine or facebook.com/Melinda Damarmian. Our first Editor's Choice story for holistic health comes from our April issue, and it's about a natural substance that could possibly defeat cancer. Here's Tammy Sabo to tell you a little bit more about vitamin B17.
Holistic health. Vitamin B17 conquering cancer. The controversial issues of its history in the Western medical field and coming face to face with true stories. Story by Tammy Sabo. Could there be a natural substance that can cure cancer? Some say yes, while others say no. Could this be on track with that old saying, it may work for some and not for others? Well, even with all of the controversy over it, I was drawn to vitamin B17 after witnessing a true story where B17, apricot seeds, changed the life of someone dear to a friend of mine. That friend, Angela, is who lit my fascination and curiosity with B17 as well. When I asked her how she found out about it, she said she just started researching, so I did the same. I then found more true stories of people defeating cancer with B17, as well as a lot of negatives about it being unhealthy or even unsafe to use due to toxicity. So being that, it has become illegal to buy in the United States. The research on how this came about is rather sketchy and could be misleading. I would say you need to do your own research if this is something that interests you or someone you care about. So what is B17 and what is all the controversy over it? B17, or laetrile, occurs as the natural substance amygdalin and is found in the seeds of apricots, peaches, and almonds. Science researchers say it is not a vitamin at all and claim it to be harmful because it reacts in the body to form cyanide. Many of those same research sources do not believe that B17 has any effect on cancer, and in some cases go as far as to call it quackery to even try it. Science says a vitamin is a substance that must be found as an essential nutrient for a healthy body, and B17 is not necessary or essential in a healthy body, they say. However, B17 works to remove abnormal cells by interacting with those cells that contain enzyme beta-glucosidase, which is found in cancer cells. It works to remove the cells causing the body dis-ease so that it can be restored to a healthy state. Sometimes that is exactly what we have to do to regain health in any situation of dis-ease in the body. You have to first identify and remove the cause if possible. I found a quote from Dr. Krebs, the doctor who discovered B17, on the blog of cancer survivor Sandy Rogg. When he was asked if B17 would work on any cancer, his answer was, yes, cancer cells all have the same exact characteristics. Cancer cells, no matter the type of cancer, are known as trophoblasts. He goes on to explain the molecule breakdown. I'll put it simply for you. You are not putting cyanide in your body, nor will it form outside of the cancer cell it forms in from the chemical reaction. It only affects the cancer cells. If no cancer cells are present, then no HCN hydrogen cyanide will be formed. With any form of treatment, there are directions and indications for best results. Everything has a dosage, and that is probably the most important part in taking B17. B17 can be taken to treat cancers as well as be a preventative. Some people order apricot seeds or pits and report that they eat about 7 seeds a day. Albeit it is not easy to tell how much you are taking this way. A pill form of B17 will give you a clear idea of how many milligrams you are taking. It is very important to take the right combination of supplements with B17 to get the optimal benefit for treatment. An important note, you cannot sell B17 in the United States. It is illegal. However, those that have little alternative and are looking for whatever will work will find a way. Cancer survivor Sandy Rogg's blog has valuable information and a testimonial that simply can't be denied. In closing, all this research and a few conversations really opened my eyes to B17, the benefits, and how it works. I thought that even with all of the controversy, if it can save a life, then it was worth sharing. Do your research. You may try talking to your doctor or find one that knows about the effects of B17 and cancers. I hope this gave you a new perspective on B17 and its pursuit to cure cancer. I'm Tammy Sabo with a New Light magazine.
The Veil, Gifts for the Mind, Body, and Spirit. Visit them online at theveil.storenvy.com. Day-to-day life can be pretty stressful. Sometimes you just need to sit back, relax a little bit, take the stress levels down. So this story from our November issue is about aromatherapy. A great way to kind of sit back and do just that. Relax. But did you know it could do more than just help you relax? No? Well, here's Stacy to tell you a little bit more about aromatherapy.
Holistic healing. Aromatherapy. Rebirthing ancient healing. Aromatherapy has been around for a very long time. There is even mention of it in ancient Egyptian writings. The biggest mention of aromatherapy is when Dioscorides wrote his book De Materia Medica in the 1st century. Dioscorides believed deeply in the healing properties of essential oils, their medicinal properties, and how to use them. Aromatherapy is simply the use of essential oils to prevent or the treatment of disease. Aromatherapy can be used for relaxation, clear sinuses, enhance energy, help regrow hair due to hair loss, certain types of rashes and eczema, pain, kill viruses, and bring about an overall feeling of balance. The influence of the aroma to the brain, especially the limbic system through the olfactory system, and the direct application to the skin is the mechanisms of this healing. Although the synergy between the body and the aromatic oils is not precisely known, the clinical studies prove aromatherapy to be very effective. There are several types of oils out there, so make sure to only use essential oils on your body, and even then be cautious. Certain oils can be harsh to the skin and cause irritation. Even those that have sensitivities to smell can use some oils as well. So go treat yourself to a lavender oil bath or some lavender lotion right before you go to bed and just see how relaxed it makes you. This is Stacy Hill in New Light Video Magazine.
Contact us at innewlightmag@gmail.com for information on placing your advertisement in our publication. Our Astronomy Photo of the Month Editor's Choice starts with a story about Hubble capturing a space invader. A space invader? Yes. And here's Tammy from our June issue to tell you more about it.
Astronomy and Astrology. Our astronomy photo this month. Hubble captures space invader. What? A space invader? There are a lot of theories out there, and with images like this surfacing, it can certainly make the mind wander and wonder. There is no doubt that it looks very peculiar. This image was taken with the Hubble Wide Field Camera 3 and was spotted by Nick Rose as he was reviewing data of the camera survey. This is quoted from NASA. Quote, "In this photo, the image of a spiral galaxy at the upper left has been stretched and mirrored into a shape similar to that of a simulated alien from the classic 1970s computer game, Space Invaders." End quote. The curious alien-looking image that appears in the likeness of a spacecraft is actually Able 68, a massive cluster of galaxies that were taken with infrared light. That's NASA's story. To find out more about this photo, use this link at www.nasa.gov/mission_pages/hubble/science/able68.html. Image credit is NASA/ESA. Acknowledgement is Nick Rose. I'm Tammy Sabo with a New Light Video Magazine.
Finally Film Productions. To find out more, contact Rich Lane at richlane777@gmail.com. When Hubble's not busy catching space invaders, it's busy catching photos of other beautiful natural events, like this story from our August issue about the Snow Angel Nebula. Here's Tammy to tell you a little bit more about it.
Astronomy and Astrology. Astronomy Photo of the Month, Snow Angel by Hubble. This is an image of the Sharpless 2-106 that was taken from the Hubble telescope. This nebula is actually exploding in a fury, but from a distance some 2,000 light years away, we get to see the likeness of an angel, a snow angel as NASA calls this image. This is quoted from NASA. The bipolar star-forming region called Sharpless 2-106 looks like a soaring celestial snow angel. The outstretched wings of the nebula record the contrasting imprint of heat and motion against the backdrop of a cooler medium. Twin lobes of superhot gas, glowing blue in this image, stretched outward from the central star. This hot gas creates the wings of our angel. A ring of dust and gas orbiting the star act like a belt, cinching the expanding nebula into an hourglass shape. Image credit is NASA, ESA, and the Hubble Heritage Team. NASA has many wonderful images to get us familiar with the world outside of our little world by going to the main NASA site at www.nasa.gov. You can see the many images that Hubble has captured. Celestial Event Calendar for March of 2014. Saturday, on March 1st, we have a new moon in the constellation of Aquarius going into Pisces. Saturday, March 4th through May 19th, Mars goes retrograde in the sign of Libra. Thursday, March 6th, Jupiter goes direct. Friday, March 14th, we have the peak of the Gamma Normids meteor shower. It's active from February 25th through March 22nd, and on peak you can see 6 per hour with a magnitude of 2.4. Sunday, March 16th, is the full warm moon, or the full crow moon, full crust moon, and the full sap moon, in the constellation of Virgo. Thursday, March 20th, in the northern hemisphere, we have the vernal or the spring equinox. In the southern hemisphere, we have the autumnal equinox. Sunday, March 30th, we have the new moon in the constellation of Pisces going into Aries. Planets in retrograde are Jupiter, November 7th, 2013, through March 6th of 2014. Mars goes retrograde on March 1st through May 19th. Meteor showers this month. March showers are not that active, but we'll be filling the skies again in April. That concludes our astronomy outlook for celestial events. I'm Tammy Sabo with a New Light Video Magazine. INLVM Astrology Forecast for March of 2014. On Saturday, March 1st, we have the new moon in the constellation of Aquarius going into Pisces. Our new moon in Aquarius going into Pisces. The new moon is our door to the underworld. In this case, it means our inner self and healing from the inside out. It is a good idea to pay close attention to your dreams during this phase. Pisces, the planet of imagination and creativity, will likely intensify sensitivity, intuition, creativity, and compassion towards ourselves and others. This could easily create chaotic thinking and confusion if this empathetic emotion overwhelms you. And it will depend on how close you are to a water sign, how strong the impact will be for you. It just makes you feel for all the world's suffering and be driven to help and heal it in some way. On Saturday, March 1st through May 19th, Mars will be going retrograde in the sign of Libra. Mars in retrograde happens about every 2 years, and for that we should all be thankful. And it lasts about 75 days. It doesn't happen often, but when it does happen, it can be an intuitive experience ahead. Mars, the planet of fire and motivation, in retrograde will make action slow or halt. We are likely to feel emotionally frustrated at times because things just don't seem to move fast enough. The Libra influence will inspire instinct and contemplation. This influence will be best handled by planning ahead. It meets with a strong grand cross during this phase, and being in retrograde may make it an easier pass by taking things a little slower and with calculated moves. Sunday, March 16th, full moon in the constellation of Leo going into Virgo. The full moon in Virgo is about purification and analyzing. Virgo's influence will have any work, hobby, or project strongly focused in details, to the point of picking things apart with analysis and critiquing. Often during this phase, we find the answers we are seeking lies within us. The full moon is about newness and beginning fresh. With this combination, we are likely to want to clean, clear, and cleanse, and get down to every detail to really clear away any grime in our lives, or at least find it. On Sunday, March 30th, we have a new moon in the constellation of Pisces that is going to be going into Aries. The new moon will be influenced by the fire sign of Aries. This will urge us to be daring and innovative. This combination brings us new beginnings that can come in the forms of new ideas, inventions, independence, change, and even rebelliousness. The closer you are to a fire sign, especially the sign of Aries, the more intense this energetic energy will feel to you. This mixture reminds me of a phoenix that begins as a swan and goes to the underworld to learn and grow, then emerges completely changed and, yes, on fire as the phoenix. Rejuvenated and alive with new ideas and ready to buck the system if necessary to make some positive changes. The warrior spirit will course through you and urge you to engage your introvert side, a time of social networking and building alliances. This is Tammy Sabo with INLVM Astrology Forecast. See you next month.
About in New Light Video Magazine. We are the first of our kind as a video magazine, and we look forward to bringing you, our viewers and listeners, into thinking of new possibilities and gaining new perspectives with each issue. To find out more about us, what we do, and how to become a contributor to show your support, please go to our website for additional information. There you can find many of our social media connections, such as our blogs, archives, Blog Talk Radio, and our new virtual world experience. That website is www.innewlightvideomagazine.com or www.inlvm.com. As always, thank you for your support, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.